You know what? Nah, you can't talk to me like that. Like a year ago, I made a video about why your coworkers are not your friends. Okay, that video has gotten a very good response, and I still get people commenting on that video still today. So I feel like I should continue that whole series. I called it Navigating the Workplace, where we just kind of talk about things that I've learned since I graduated, just being in like the workforce and things like that. So today's video, guys, we are going to be talking about having a foreign name in the workplace. Okay. So anyway, I started the current job I'm doing now. Well, I started working for who I'm working for now in 2021. Okay. I've moved around into like different roles since then, but pretty much still been in the same company. Now, when I started in 2021, there was like a whole big recruitment thing, right? So they recruited like, I don't know, maybe 100 people, maybe more than that, I don't know. But we had like a few caretakers when we first started, because we were going through like a whole training process. They were like trying to let us know how things are done with the company and get everybody clued up on stuff like that. I think that lasted for like 2 months, maybe even 3. But anyway, there was a caretaker that I had at the time. A few of us had like this caretaker, so we knew that there were a few people that we can go to ask questions if we needed help or any issues or anything of the sort. When this guy did the register, I can't even remember his name. He was this like big guy, kind of intimidating, whatever. When he would do the register in the morning, when we would all come into work, this guy would always refuse to say my name. And I was a little bit embarrassed by that, because this has happened to me when I was in school as well. I was a bit embarrassed, like sometimes when they wouldn't say your name. And back in the day, people were a lot more rude about it. So he would refuse to say my name. So he would be like, Jessica, Selena, Sharon. Then when it comes to me, then he would come up to my table to look at my name tag. Then he'd be like, okay, Jack. I was so annoyed. And I'm one of those feisty type of girls. You're not about to play me. I don't know. I don't care. I love Jesus, but you're not about to play me. Okay. So I was just kind of like, you know what? This is a new job, new opportunity. Let me just keep quiet and keep my head down. Right. But it got to the point where I was like, this is ridiculous. So I told myself I'm going to say something. I think I even told someone about it. And then I was like, I'm going to say something. Because first of all, my name is Esiri. It's not that difficult to pronounce. I'm ethnically Nigerian. So having the name Esiri is very, very simple to say. I'm not going to lie. Because us Nigerians typically have very long, extra names. That name is not difficult to pronounce or say. Maybe if you get messed up with the surname, okay, cool. But you can say my first name. Okay. Especially considering the fact that it's basically Siri for the iPhone, but with an E. But anyway, I told myself I was going to say something, because this is out of order. I'm not having it. I'm not standing for none of it. The day I was actually going to say something, tell me why this guy said my name. Gearing myself up, I was like, you know what? Nah. You can't talk to me like that. No, I'm joking. But I was proper like, okay, I'm going to say something, because this is embarrassing now. And I really don't like how it's making me feel. He would say everybody's name, and then everybody would just kind of look at me awkwardly when he wouldn't say mine. Oh my gosh. It was kind of embarrassing. But he started saying my name. And I was like, you know what? You know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Now, with the organization I work for, they have this whole initiative kind of on like respect and like respecting people's cultures, backgrounds, religions, all that stuff. So the whole name thing, I've realized, is a big thing. They always ask you, so how do you pronounce your name? How do you want to be addressed or whatever? This guy never asked me how to pronounce the name. So it was kind of like you weren't even really trying. That's how I felt. But anyway, that situation got sorted, and that was completely fine. Fast forward to this year, this was another thing that happened in the same company. So now I've been at this company like 2 years at this point, probably. During this second incident, now I'd been at this company for like 2 years. 2 years, so it was like whatever. I'd been here for 2 years and everything had pretty much been going all right. Now, while we were all sat down because we were trying to get our equipment switched over and updated and stuff like that, they were doing a register again to see who was in attendance so that they could keep track of the different laptops and stuff that they were switching out. Tell me why this other guy, we were doing the register again, he said everybody else's name and then he pointed to me. He goes, so, Holly, Jessica, da da da. He pointed to me. And I was like, I looked at him sternly in the face, in the eyes, and I said, Esiri. And he was like, oh yes. Sorry. Siri. And I was actually kind of surprised at myself because I was just kind of like, that was a bit bold for you, Esiri. At that point, I was just kind of like, I don't care anymore. You're going to say my name. It's really not that difficult. You're just not even making the effort, right? And I mean, I think he took it well. I could tell he was a bit thrown off guard because of how I said it. Like, I was very stern saying it, like, straight faced. But when he said my name again, I believe that day he said it correctly for the most part. So I was pleased with what I did. I know that growing up, right, because I have like a mother that's very very different to me, kind of like she doesn't want a lot of fuss and she wants you to keep your head down. And I've always been the type where it's like, you can keep your head down, but we don't tolerate disrespect. You know what I'm saying? That was kind of how I always was. So if somebody would never say my name properly or they would spell it wrong, I would be like, that is wrong, that is unacceptable. My mom would always be like, no, leave it. It's not that big of a deal. Leave it. Leave it. You know, you're just being over the top. You're being extra. But no, you're not being extra. You're not being over the top because people's names are very, very important. People's accents do affect how they say your name. But I think it's more important to always make sure that you're trying. And if you don't know how to pronounce somebody's name, ask. Always make sure you are comfortable with people's pronunciations of your name. Don't ever feel like you have to change your name to make people feel comfortable. I have an English middle name. You are never going to call me that name because I don't go by that name. I've never gone by that name. That name doesn't even suit me. Like, no, my name is Esiri and you're going to address me as that. If you don't know how to pronounce it, ask me. It's as simple as that. Make sure people are always addressing you with the name you want to be addressed. Now, if you are African, typically Nigerian, if you have an English name you want to go by just to make it easier for them, fine. But make sure it's because you're okay with it. Don't feel like you have to do those things to make people feel comfortable. You know what I mean? Because I feel like we live in a world that people really don't want to be respecting other people's cultures. And people feel like, oh, if your name's a bit too difficult for me, I'm just going to write it off and I'm never going to say it. That's really disrespectful. I remember being in school and this was like an assembly. So this is like a bunch of students in assembly. The woman pronounced everybody else's names, but they didn't pronounce my name. And they're like, yeah, you. And I remember feeling so embarrassed at that time, like so embarrassed. And I was just like, you will never do that again. Some people shorten their names to nicknames so people can say it. I don't know, like, if you have a really, really long name, I can understand, but I do think there is importance of like getting people used to saying your name. If you have an issue with how they're saying it, I would speak up. I wouldn't keep quiet about it just because you want to keep your head down. I don't think that's necessary at all. Yeah, that's kind of been my experience with like foreign names in the workplace. What do you guys think? Have you had issues with this? Even in like, not even just like in the workplace, but like even in school. Like, have you had issues with this? I'm not gonna lie. if a guy ever said my name wrong, that's a red flag. I'm joking. Yeah, guys, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you like me, any other videos regarding like work stuff you want me to speak about, just let me know. Leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the next upload. Bye.